This is where the fun begins.
Dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
What's going on, guys?
Don't do that anymore. It's so bad.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome
What's
back
going on?
to another episode of the Sithcast podcast, a Star Wars podcast where we pretty much talk anything and everything Acolyte. Just kidding.
Lately, we have.
Lately, well, I mean, to be honest, if you scour the internet, it's always going to be the Hawk Tua girl or the Acolyte. Those are the two things that are on my feed constantly, which is kind of funny.
There's a guy on Film Threat, I forget his name right now, and he said
Chris Gore.
Chris Gore. He said if one of the things Disney could say that would be honest is the Acolyte is the most talked about show on Disney Plus.
That would be
true. And it's definitely, no one could disagree with that.
Yeah. I think maybe that's on purpose. I don't know, but anyway, guys, welcome back to another episode, and we got a special guest tonight. We got Marcel back in the house, and I know he's got some great things to show us today. So really excited to talk about that. Also, just want to, just say that we got my co-host Sean Solo, aka Echo Base Collectibles, and we got Sithcast Holocron, BMX Jedi, Anthony in the house. You guys saw his rant. Thank you, Anthony. I think I watched that rant it
was pretty funny
a lot of times. So if you guys haven't checked it out, please check out last week's episode. And I think you'll have a huge laugh.
Yeah. I'll definitely have to check that out. I missed
it. You guys laughing was actually making me laugh.
Yeah, I figured that was the case.
Yeah, I think us laughing just got you going even more.
Yeah,
so.
I think
it was
seeing Sean
energy.
just the look on his face, and then Scott.
Well, what was funny watching Scott made me laugh. You watching me.
Yeah. So, guys, we're gonna definitely talk about Marcel's latest project. We're gonna talk about Acolyte. We're gonna talk about collecting. We're gonna talk pretty much everything. No holds bar here. But before we get on with the show, definitely want to address the chat, and we'll go to Marcel after. We got Darts on in the house. House of Dragon over Acolyte. Absolutely, dude. I totally agree with you. It's such a, I know it's a different type of show, but man, the writing, the acting, and just the overall world building in House of Dragons, crazy. But yeah, I wish for me at least, I wish Acolyte was in that same level. We got Eben in the house. What's up, Eben?
Yo, Eben.
What's up?
We got Scott Sharp in the house. What's up, Scott? We got Bob Dylan in the house.
Bob Dylan.
You got JT Lovecraft in the house. We're gonna get him on the show next week. He's got some cool things to share. Who else is here? We got Scott Berry. Happy birthday, Scott.
Yo,
Shout out to Scott.
It's tough turning 25 again.
I know. Lucky. I mean, look at that guy. He's
he's living the dream.
He's got good genes there. We got Rex in the house, Millennium Workshop. Looking to have him on the show soon. And we got Flex. What's up, Flex?
Flex in the house.
Flex in the house. So, all right, Marcel.
Yeah.
See something nice in the background.
Something nice.
I'm sorry. I'm not talking about your collectibles on your left side. I'm talking about that nice
unmade Bandais over here. I got so many of these things I gotta get to.
Yeah, you can cover that up. We're looking at that beautiful Death Trooper print.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I watched your the interview that you did with
Victor.
Yes, and you know, we saw you on Gabe's show, Star Wars. Star Wars Replicas, aka
Collection Wars.
Collection Wars. I'm
Mike was
sorry.
busy.
Yeah,
as
Mike was
usual.
busy. Mike was busy hanging out with
Yeah, Thompson.
Leah Thompson
Yeah,
from Back to the
yeah.
Future.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm glad that his business doing pretty well. He's doing amazing work
yeah,
over there.
yeah.
So
He's doing real
Yeah.
well.
yeah. But yeah, Marcel, can
All
you
right.
more?
Let me tell you about this project. So,
Yes.
everybody knows.
You want me to pull up those pics now? Or you want me to
Oh
wait?
yeah, we can start with that if you like. We
Yeah,
just
it's up to you.
Hold up a second, Sean. Hold up. Just hold up a second. I'll let
Yeah,
you
just
know.
give me 2 winks and an ear pull, and then we'll know to go. a
Okay.
little secret.
Yeah. So usually my work is focused on the Star Wars, original trilogy. And what I really wanted to do was, everybody's got a lot of love for Rogue One. So I thought, all right, well, let's see what we can do with some Rogue One stuff. And this was the first design out of Rogue One.
I'm just gonna zoom in on you. Yep, real quick.
Oh, you don't need to do that. It's all right. This is the first design, the Death Trooper, that I just absolutely fell in love with, and I think a lot of other people did too. So yeah, Sean, we can go through each one. I sent Sean a bunch of slides, so I'd just like to share these with you. I got a bit of a story to tell, something I want to go through. So absolute masterpiece is, of course, the original trilogy for me. All right. So
Absolutely.
Star Wars hits. These are just my thoughts. I'm not asking anybody to agree or disagree, but Star Wars hits everybody, whether it's the prequels, original trilogy, the animated stuff, even the sequels, and even I'm sure Disney Plus stuff. It hits everybody differently. And I think one of the reasons is because of when they watch it. And so Star Wars drops in 77. I'm aging myself. Obviously, I'm an older dude. I was there 7 years old. So at 7 years old, you watch Star Wars, you're completely hyped. Like, I don't need to tell you guys, your hype is through the roof, your mind is blown, everything is firing on all cylinders, and you have to wait and wait and wait and wait. And then Empire drops, and Empire is just, the most amazing thing you've ever seen. It's absolutely incredible. So by this time, I'm at school, I'm drawing on my desk, I'm drawing in my notebooks, I'm doing drawings for friends, I'm doing little drawings on my friends' jackets and painting and stuff. And then you have to wait and wait and wait. And the whole creativity thing for me, by the time Return of the Jedi, I think I was 13, it was just peaking out, And so when Star Wars dropped, I was completely in love with everything that was going on because it was impacting my young 13-year-old mind in such a way that nothing else ever had. So I love the prequels. They're great. But what I have more of an affinity to is the next slide, which is Rogue One. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. If somebody were to say, why is it? I could say, I don't know. But Rogue One hit me more like the original trilogy vibes than the prequels. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. It just did. I think some of the reasons are some of the similarities of the character arcs. So Jyn Erso, she goes from kind of like a relatively obscure person who has not so many goals. And by the end, she's clearly a rebel. And she's got a very strong story arc there. And her story arc is so incredible that it flips Cassian Andor in the same way Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia flipped Han Solo. So Han Solo starts out as this kind of mercenarial character in it for himself, whereas Andor was kind of in the rebellion, but he was also had a mercenarial streak. He kills the other rebel to get out of a jam. But he eventually flips, and they both become the heroes that Luke, Han, and Leia became. And the story arc is very, very similar, in my opinion, and it hit me very similar to the OT kind of vibe. it didn't hit me in the same creative way because I was a totally different age. But the story was easy for me to fall in love with. And so this brings us to the next slide, which is our guy, Victor Botha. So what I did was when I started doing these images, one of the first ones I did was the Death Trooper. I was absolutely in love with the Death Trooper, and I took all of my energy, my love for the show, and just dumped it in here. But the one thing that I didn't know was who played any of the Death Troopers. I didn't know any of them at all. And you might be surprised to find out, as I did when I interviewed him, that the Death Troopers went uncredited. So no one would know who they are by watching the show. So I reached out to Victor. I found out he was playing the Death Trooper, and I just reached out to him. And as I mentioned to Gabe the other day, it was like I couldn't believe what an excellent guy this dude is, and how perfect he was for this project. So as you can see there in our little my little slide that I made up, he's the first to wear the battle suit. So he got called in, and he didn't know it was a Star Wars gig. They're like, "All right, come on back here," and then lo and behold, he's the Death Trooper. So he was the very first dude to wear the Death Trooper outfit. Second of all, as I discovered during our interview and doing research on him, in every scene where there's Director Krennic and a Death Trooper, he's in it. So the Death Troopers, of course, I mean, Director Krennic is pretty badass, but I think being surrounded by Death Troopers in that opening scene, if you can remember them walking that football field to the farm, they looked super badass, and their sound design was cool. Every single thing about them was cool. On the beach, the Battle of Scarif, Victor, he's like, yeah, I was the guy who killed, I always forget this guy's name, Chirrut Imwe. So he's the blind rebel. So Victor takes him out. And he was also the model. So he's the model for him and one other of the Death Troopers. I think they went with the tallest ones. And Victor's 6'4". So they scanned Victor for Battlefront 2 and all of the statues. So if you've got a sideshow statue, something like that, any of the statues or Death Trooper Rogue One memorabilia in your gallery is probably Victor. So this guy is the perfect dude. And so I called him up and we got to talking, and I was like, hey man, we're doing this project. Would you like to be involved? He's like, hell yeah, I'd love to be involved. So we talked a few times before we did the interview. The interview is, I'll just link it for you guys. Can I just put it directly in the chat here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see, connect. Oh, I don't know how to do that.
All
It
right.
says join the chat, but it's not allowing me to. Here, let me put it in the private chat.
Okay, put it in the private chat, and I'll put. Yeah, okay.
There's somebody. Somebody's gain is a little high. Is that me?
No, you're good.
Is my volume too loud or something?
No, you're good. You're good.
I can draw, but I can't do like sound and stuff. So I apologize.
No.
Anyway, there it is. So we have a YouTube channel. You can go to our YouTube channel and check that out. It's 44 minutes, and he'll tell you all about his experiences shooting the film. Anyway, yeah, you can go to the next one there, Sean, if Sean's still around or not. Looks like.
Oh,
yeah.
he is. I think, yeah.
Okay, cool. Right on. So what we have going here is our signature series. So he's in the UK, and the signature series order window is from when we announced a few days ago until July 1st. So once the July 1st window closes, we ship all of our plaques off to him. He's in the UK. So, we felt that I wanted to expand on what I was doing. I know a lot of people have some Rogue One stuff going on in their galleries. So I thought we would create something that was that would complement their whatever they have as Rogue One in their space. Put it beside a helmet, next to a statue, whatever it is that people do. We have some photos that we'll show you later. So we were really excited. He's a great guy. We've talked a number of times. just to get to know each other. And so this is what our signature series is going to look like. Let's roll on there, Sean, sir. Yeah, okay, so this is just an image of what I do. So what I do, in case people don't know, is I take a number of reference images from wherever I can get them. Usually it's from people that I know. And I do the image. This is the full-size image. It's 30 by 40. I render the image in pencil, and then I use ink for precision ink tools to ink each piece. Some pieces are just black, and some pieces are black and graphite. So the final piece on here is like 99% ink, and some of the finer, lighter shading elements are graphite. Yeah. So it's all done by me here in my little studio space. The website is run by Nancy. And yeah, so we're looking forward to getting these out to people's galleries. Yeah, next one there, Sean. Thanks for doing this, Sean, by the way. Okay. So here's our website. This is, of course, where you're going to get these things. We'll go to the sort of some better images of the prints for you. So this is our website, www.marcelchenier.com. If you want to go, you can definitely grab one of these there. The next one, Sean, please. Or maybe not. Yeah, on our site, you'll find all the various different projects that we do. We've done, I don't know, did we premiere our Ray Park one with you guys?
Oh yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
So we did our Ray Park one here with you guys. Go ahead.
I was saying in the chat, the Darth Maul Ray Park print is probably one of the best prints I own.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. That one was crazy. It took a real long time. Yeah, that's our most popular print. So we've done signature series. Oh my God, I always forget. We've done it with Marsha Lucas, Ian McDermott, Anthony Daniels, Ray Park, Quentin Pierre, who is the Red Guard, Emperor's Red Guard. And this is our latest one. This is number 10. I can't remember all the other ones. This is number 10. So it's Force 10 in our signature series. So you can go to our website and grab some of our signature series, whatever we have left over, not many of the others. And we have some non-signature series prints as well. The signature series stuff usually sells out primarily because the signature series editions are super limited. They're usually limited to just the number of people that order them. After that, they're gone. We usually buy a couple of more, and the reason for that is because what we found, as maybe some of you have found, but I hope not, that occasionally sometimes a plaque gets damaged in the mail. So if we get 20 orders for a signature series and we order 20 plaques, and one of them comes back like with a scratch on it or something, what do? Right? It's a mess. So we usually order like 3, 4, 5 extras, just in case there's a problem with anything that happens in the mail to the UK. All right, so what do these look like? So let's go through. We could just go through the next little bit, Sean, just like a little bit quickly. So this is the original artwork. As you can see, it's monochrome on white. Signature series on the bottom. This is usually how people set up kind of their presentation. The next one is monochrome on black. So everybody usually asks us for a different option, and the most common option is black. So that's what we provide. You have a couple more further down, Sean. Can you skip one? There you go. So, can you go back down, bro? Or to the, yeah, that's the one. There we go. So some people usually ask us for if we can do an addition of color. So what I do is I art direct our photographer and printer to just get the colors just right. Yeah, thanks, Sean. No, you can go back, bro. So These prints are available right now. You can go to the one with all the text on it, Sean, sir. For the no, that would be go to the one above. There you go. Thanks, man. So these are the details. If you would like to have the Victor Botha's Death Trooper signature in your collection, which I happen to think is a really good idea. I might be biased, in my opinion, but I think Victor is he's the main dude. He's in all the scenes, does all the important stuff. So it's 30 by 40. It's obviously signed gold plaque. Edition is limited to the pre-orders. White gloves for handling. Careful if you order one with all black background. They're fussy. And a certificate of authenticity. So the pre-orders are available right now, and they close on July 1st. Cost at the bottom is 1175 CAD, which is $8.58 USD. This kind of fluctuates depending upon the currency. So it's this full-size original artwork reproduction, 30 by 40. It's a feature piece for a feature wall for your collection. And we're really, really excited. I mean, like I said, Victor Botha is the man, and we couldn't be happier to be working with him. Just a couple more things, and then I'll be done with my little pitch. I encourage you just to go check out our video. Victor spent like 45 minutes of his time with us. Super chill dude. He has lots of great stories. So go check out our YouTube page. There's not a lot on there. I hope to do more interviews in the future. He was really generous with his time. Super guy. Getting his signature at cons in North America is pretty difficult. So this is a great way to add that to your collection. We also have some other non-signature series prints. If you can just scroll down a little bit, Sean, that would be great. These usually sell after the signature series period. They basically look exactly the same.
That one's signature, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this one is signature, a signature series. Yeah. It's the one they're basically the same. You don't have to worry about it, Sean. They're basically the same, but it's just a regular plaque with my signature on it. My signature plaque is obviously optional. You might not want to have. You might want to have the print, but not the plaque. That's fine, no worries. But most people do. Most people like to order it with the plaque. Yeah, so we're really excited about the project. Sean, do me a favor. I just wanted to show some folks. If you could scroll down to some of the photos of the galleries that we're currently in.
Yeah, I have to say, when I opened up the Darth Maul tube that I got from you, Marcel, it was well packaged. It came with white gloves. I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. Like, this is like, it's like very professional. The paper that you print on is like super professional, high quality, definitely better than some of the paper that other prints that I get are printed on. So I'm not sure what type of paper that is. I'm not in the paper biz, or I'm not a professional at it, but let's just say it felt like high quality when I touched it for the first time.
Oh man,
yes.
thanks for mentioning that, man.
Yeah, I know.
The reason why that is our printer is a photographer. He's a printer photographer for a lot of Canadian galleries.
Yeah.
So he works with major artists up here and galleries and museums and that sort of thing. His name is Alan Somerville, and we just found him by accident. And Alan was like, all right, if you're going to do this, you want to do it right. So we're doing, premium paper, premium inks. Everything is super nice because these are really nice pieces. And I mean, not just because I do them, but because of the way they arrive to you. And that just goes to another point that I wanted to make, is that, look, guys, it's really nice when you can have your own business and work for yourself. But if you're busy doing your thing all the time, which is what you should be doing if you have your own business, you need to be working with other people who can show you the highest standard possible for like how your website's going to work, how people can find you, what kind of marketing you can do. And we're not there yet on all cylinders, but our guy Alan, as I mentioned, his name is Alan Somerville, he pulled us across some thresholds that we as like total noobs to the industry were and are grateful for. So if you're thinking about running your own business, you know, it's not possible to do it all by yourself. You need to have the advice of smarter, wiser, and more experienced people than you in their area of specialization, right? And that's one of the, I mean, tie it back to this. That's one of the reasons why I love doing the Victor Botha thing, because he was the main Death Trooper guy. He was in all, you know, all the important scenes, doing all the important things. So that's why I think that it's a really great, it's a perfect project. But if you are going to have your own business, you're responsible for everything. And so if you want it to be really, really as great as possible, just do your best to work with people that you like. They're business people, but people that you can kind of relate to on a friendly level, that will listen to you and that sort of thing. And you'll ship out stuff just the way you described it, PJ, which is it's gonna come out looking nice. So here, yeah, at your leisure, Sean. These are just some images. Sorry that they're so small, my brother. I don't know why they're appearing like that. I guess you
Wow, look at that.
Increase.
Yeah, that looks good. That downed AT-AT. That's pretty
I've
sweet.
got the AT-AT and the Wampa and the speeder bike, and that's our C-3PO. That's our Anthony Daniels signature series that we did.
Nice.
What do we got next? Of course, the man himself, the Spice Runner, Eben. This is a great image. So Eben, he's been a supporter of ours from the very beginning. And
yeah, shout out to Eben.
Yeah, you guys are like seasoned collectors for sure. But he was the first or second dude to say, "Hey man, can I get a plaque with your signature on it?" And at that time I wasn't hip to the signature thing. Of course, now we know a whole lot more about it. And so he threw that up on his wall with, you know, the beautiful presentation. His plaque is like, I think, the first plaque that we ever did. And of course, he caught the Collection Wars piece that we did, and he got the Emperor Palpatine as well.
I mean, I don't know who took this picture. It's super professional, but he looks like he's like the acolyte himself.
You know what?
That's the Godfather.
I kind of
Godfather.
Yeah, I kind of art directed and light directed this. What we were talking about it because of the way his space was. I was like, "Yo, bro, can you take a shot for me?" So he set it up, but I was like, "Yo, we need a Godfather photo," and and can I swear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Eben knocked it out of the fucking park. It's just, I mean, this is my favorite image, one of my favorite images of all time. I just wanted to super fast. Sorry guys, I'm going all over the place. So Eben, no, Dubak's comment. Can you put that up? I wanted to.
Sure. This one? Oh no, this one.
No, next one. Your art products have great differentiation.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I just wanted to talk about this a tiny little bit. I might freak some people out, and you're like, "What the hell are you talking about, Marcel?" So great comment, Dubak. I wanted to talk about this just a tiny little bit. So there's this. My inspiration for Star Wars art comes from The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, you can show these while I'm just riffing here, Sean, at your leisure, bro. So a lot of people say, "What's your favorite character? What's your favorite film?" My favorite thing about Star Wars is a line, is a sentence. And it was when Yoda goes off, I don't have it memorized, I should, when he's talking to Luke on Dagobah, and he's teaching him about the Force. And he's saying, "Look, Luke, you're messed up, bro." He's like, "Do you think that this is all we are? Do you think that," he says, "the Force is all around us. It unites us. It binds us. And he's like, do you think that this is all we are? Do you think that this is just everything? This is what we are? You think you're this? And he hits him with a stick, right? And my mind, when I was a kid, when Empire Strikes Back came out, hung on to that. I was like, what is this dude talking about, right? And what he's talking about is there's this thing called what's it called? I can't remember. It's oh yeah, I think it's called psychic entropy. You know, Marcel, where the hell are you going with this? So psychic entropy is when your mind is going one way, your feelings are going another way, and your body wants to do something completely different. And we all feel this way sometimes, where we're just completely out of sorts. We're like, God, I need to make a change. And what Yoda is trying to teach him, and again, this is just me. He's saying, bro, you got to get these things in alignment. You got to get these things centered. You got to get these things in touch with, and when they are aligned and when they are centered, you're more likely to get in touch with the force, right? And so this is what everybody loves, and I think this is what a lot of people are talking about with training, is they want to see the problem of growth to become better. And Yoda's trying to tell him, look, you're scattered, you're all over the place. You need to be better, you can be better, and when you're better, this is what you can do. And Luke is like, it's too big, I can't lift it. He's like, you're an idiot, you don't get it, right? You're thinking small. Your mind is just not in the game, right? And so what I associate with the force from what Yoda's talking about is what most people understand, or most people might be familiar with creative flow. So when you're in a creative flow, all of your skills are united and focused on the work that you're doing. And you can do the work in such a way that it's effortless. Just like Yoda says, you're thinking too small. The effort is not in the size. The effort is in the how you're focusing your mind. Now,
That's it. 3 words of wisdom.
Yeah, there you go, man. So to Jason's point, all of this work that I do is in what, you know, a lot of creative people call the flow, where you're working and you're working in such a way that you lose track of time, you lose track of yourself, and you're so involved in what you're doing that there's this wonderful, beautiful sensation of relaxation and so on that comes with it. And at the end, you have something like this. And this is why I love that sentence, this teaching from Yoda so much. Because even though I was young and stupid, I thought maybe there was something to it. And as I sort of spent my life thinking about it, I realized, yeah, there is. And so when Jason said, or Dubak says, you know, it comes from passion. Well, it comes directly from the Yoda. It comes directly from Dagobah. It comes directly from The Empire Strikes Back. And it's shaped my whole life. So when I bring this to Star Wars fans, to me, that's what I'm bringing, is like
right
thing. So when people say, oh, you know, how can you do that? How can you spend so much time on so many tiny little details? It's the same thing as Luke saying, how can you lift that X-Wing? It's like, it's not, it becomes effortless when that psychic entropy, when all of those distractions are gone, and you are in a relaxed state and you're allowed to focus. And if you're a creative person, because this is most commonly discussed with like musicians and artists and creative people, you hit flow. And flow is like, I don't know, you got to put some brainwave machine on my head or something, or to figure out what it is, I can't tell you. But all I can share with you is my experience of it. And this is the result. And that's what inspired me to do the prints and all the stuff that's going on. So
yeah, and it looks fantastic.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Anyway, that's it for me. I just wanted to thank you for showing the slides, Sean.
Yeah, no problem.
We're in a lot of people's galleries, and they do amazing things with our prints. So just two things I wanted to say. An artist's print is, to me, like a diamond. And a diamond really isn't complete until it's placed in its setting on the ring. That's when it's finished. So the artist hands the piece to the presenter, to the collector, and says, all right, let's see what you can do with this because you're the one who's going to finish it. And so the images that Sean was showing you is the completed diamond, is the completed piece, where they have the framing and the lighting and the complementary piece that goes with it. And that's something that I could never do. I'm aware of that. And so I love to see what everybody does with their work, or my work, or anybody's work. And so the last thing is, go to our site, grab yourself a signature series with Victor Botha. He's the death trooper of death troopers. Bring a little bit of Rogue One home with his signature. And hopefully it's a piece that will stay in your gallery forever.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will. Looks fantastic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, thank you for sharing your not only your work, but your passion with the rest of the community, and it translates to the work that you do, the artwork that you do, and it's crazy that Rogue One has come so far in terms of like how many people love that movie now, and how fast it's crept up to a lot of people's top 3 best Star Wars movies of all time.
Oh yeah, easily.
And it makes you wonder, why can't it be replicated over and over again if that's the formula, and that's the key to making everyone happy. I don't think I have ever met anyone that hated Rogue One.
No,
I
don't think I've ever heard a negative comment about Rogue One
ever. I wish someone. I'm hoping there isn't anybody, because I think it's almost like the perfect movie.
Yeah.
But literally, I haven't come across anyone that said, I hate Rogue One. It sucks. It's the worst thing I've ever heard watched in my entire life. And but yeah, I'm so happy that you went, and did something outside of the original trilogy. And a Rogue One is, especially with Death Trooper, that is absolutely perfect start.
Thanks, BJ. I appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
Oh yeah.
And just a really quick question: will there be any other characters outside of possibly the original trilogy, even Rogue One, maybe the prequels? Will there be something along those
I have
lines
a
in the
couple of
future?
people on my case about some prequel stuff.
Mhm.
A little bit of behind the scenes stuff. So I'm working on the armor piece that I set up with Emily.
Yeah,
And
we saw that. You got a chance to meet her, which is awesome.
Yeah, we met a couple of times and we went and had lunch and stuff. And we've chatted a couple of times since then. And the piece that I'm working on is like a whole new medium that I've never used before. And it's like a clusterfuck. It's so crazy because I'm having to relearn how to do so many things. And I was like, so much time went by. And I finally sent her. We made a movie. Nancy and I, we made a little movie, and we sent her the film. And we're like, here's where I tried this technique and it didn't work. Here's where I tried. There was like 4 or 5 different attempts, because the photo we took is wild. It's got color all over the place. I've never done anything like it. And she responded. She was very, very generous. And she's like, oh, you guys rock. I wish we were neighbors. We could hang out and talk. And thanks, the amount of effort you're putting into it is great. But so that's holding up my schedule. So in the meantime, I have a couple of more pieces in the chamber to put out. We're going to do the armor piece, and then we have to wait and see what happens after that, because that might lead to something else, which I can't say anything about. Yeah, so we're just going to have to wait and see. But I'd like to definitely hit on some of the prequel stuff, because I know there's a tons of fans out there for that, and I would love to do it.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's good to
Sorry
make
for a long-winded answer.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, if you guys want to pick up this beautiful print and other prints that Marcel has done, please check out his website. I'll put the link in the chat, in the live chat. Also, if you want to check out that video that Marcel's talking about with his interview with
Victor Botha.
Victor Botha.
Yeah.
And yeah, please, I put that link also on the live chat as well.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for listening to my stuff.
Yes, and
Oh, no
amazing
worries.
work. Amazing work. Keep up the great work. You do such amazing work with some of the prints that you're well, not some, all your prints that you've been releasing. So
Yeah, I've got a
Thanks,
nice little
TJ.
collection of your prints.
yeah.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, so let's move on to some acolyte talk.
What is this acolyte you speak of?
Well,
Broom boy, do back. Sorry.
well, I was gonna I was gonna ask you, Marcel, have you been watching some of the new acolyte stuff?
Yeah, I have. I have been watching it.
And
I'm
how
caught
you
up.
liking it so far?
I'm an OT guy, and
Enough said.
like as I started out, telling you guys like
Mhm.
the kind of lightning in a bottle with George and Dykstra and Macquarie and his wife Marcia editing. It was just lightning in a bottle, and the level of creativity and my age, it kind of hit me, like I said, really, really well. So the new Disney stuff, I honestly don't feel like it's not that it's not for me because of Disney. It's not for me because of me. I'm like the kind of creative person. I understand what Disney is doing. I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about it, but I do watch it just to see what's happening. And but I could just say in reference to Acolyte, I'm an OT guy.
Yeah. And you can leave it at that. For me, I get it. It is a lightning in a bottle, and it is really hard to get all those talented artists and people that worked on Star Wars together at the same time with another Star Wars project. It is hard because all of them are legends in the game.
Yeah, pretty
They
much.
all formed ILM, and it's yeah, they're just like I said, legends. But here's the thing, though: if we could get Rogue One, what's the problem, right?
Well, they didn't have a big agenda back then. They did Rogue One.
Exactly. But the thing too is that they stay true to the lore, stay true to George's vision of Star Wars. They gave us pretty much everything that we wanted. Lightsabers, you got Darth Vader, you got space battles, you got good character development, you felt for the characters, all those things, and it's a near perfect movie. So
Yeah, it really is
i-
amazing.
if we could get that, I'm sure we could get that type of content in the future. I just think that people have their own interpretation of Star Wars that they want to show on the screen, but at the same time, too, Tolkien created Lord of the Rings, and I'm sure there's people with different interpretations of Lord of the Rings in their mind, but they can't. No one will let them take that IP and create a different type of Lord of the Rings, right? So like I said, I just think that if we could just follow that same formula as Rogue One, I think a lot of these projects from Disney will be very successful.
But
so
don't hold your breath.
I won't hold my breath. Like I
No.
said, like I'm with Marcel. It's not my Star Wars. Maybe it's for other people or other viewers that Disney's trying to focus on, and I'm fine with that. I've come to terms and peace with it. At first, I was fighting it. I was going online when the sequels came out. I'm like, what is this? This is not my Star Wars. Spending all that energy, which I think a lot of people are doing now with the Acolyte, where they're exerting all this energy to fighting with each other about like why that show is good, why it's not good. And as opposed to, for me, I'm just staying quiet. I'm gonna vote with my wallet. I'm gonna speak with my wallet. I won't support anything that I don't like with my wallet. So I think that speaks volumes rather than going on the internet and trying to like blast everyone that agrees or disagrees with you in terms of how you view Star Wars and how Star Wars should be. So
Yeah,
My
I
So
opinion.
how about
totally agree with
so
you,
how about
TJ.
this week's episode?
yeah, go
Yeah,
into that.
TJ, I just wanted to, if you don't mind, if I could interject for a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that what you're saying is really, really important. The reason why is because if you are conserving your energy, as you said, you don't want to waste it arguing with entities on the internet, and you're spending more time. So, the way we know ourselves
Mm.
best is through meeting other people. And so we go, oh yeah, I am like this person, I am not like that person. And these are the things that help us to understand ourselves, is just by meeting other people and engaging them. And once you have a sense of what it is that you don't like if, for example, you don't happen to like a particular TV show, I usually use that as a board to push me into, okay, well, so if I don't like that, what do I like? And why do I like it? And how can I express my love for that thing more? So, for example, if someone was an OT or a prequel guy or girl, and they say, okay, well, modern Disney is not for me, so I would like to, grab a collectible, a sideshow piece or something like that. And maybe they have like these awesome pieces like, Anthony has in his cupboard, and they're focusing and refocusing again and again on what they love. And maybe instead of buying something, they decide to create something of their own, right? Or so if you, just as the negativity can pull you in, so can the positivity. And the positivity, the difference is, it's Star Wars itself, right? Is
Mhm.
dark side and the light side, right? One is destructive, one is productive, right? And hopefully, if you recognize, okay, this isn't for me, so I'm going to grab arc towards the thing that is, hopefully, if you stay on that arc long enough, you'll produce something amazing that you never knew, you were
Yeah,
capable of.
I agree. I just think that like if you thoroughly support the Acolyte, then vote with your wallet. You don't have to argue with anyone online. Go buy some Acolyte t-shirts. Go buy a collectible. Go buy this. Go buy that. Right? Instead of like, oh yeah, it's a good, and you're trying to explain it. You're trying to convince the other person that hates the Acolyte that they should change their mind. You're not going to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
You're wasting energy. We're not here. We're expressing our opinions. You could disagree with it, right? Absolutely. That's your right. But at the same time, too, we're not forcing you to agree with us. But at the same time, if you like the Acolyte, vote with your wallet. That's it. Express
Yeah.
your opinion with your wallet so that if you want more content like that, Disney will see it. Oh, look at this, because it's all about the numbers. The bottom line is they want to make money. I'm sorry. Every company that puts out content or puts out any product wants money, right? If there's no money involved, do you think they'll make content? Absolutely not. So again, you like it, buy everything Acolyte. If you don't like it, don't buy anything. Don't even watch it. Don't waste your time. Sorry, I just went a little rant. Sorry,
I know,
Anthony.
I know.
It's not as good as Anthony's, but
Yeah. Let's check out this past week's episode.
okay. Let's just
Yeah,
check
I'm
out
curious
this.
what we got to say about this one.
Okay, we'll start off with our guests. Marcel, what do you think about this episode?
Oh my God. Man,
Mhm.
I'm at a loss for words. I find myself, as someone that usually speaks too much, I have almost nothing to say. um, I really don't have anything to say about it. I'm not very invested in the show, and I think there's a reason for that. It doesn't really communicate to the kind of creative expression that I like. That doesn't mean that, but there's a lot of things that a lot of people like that I don't. So the latest episode, I'll say that the one thing that they executed well, that kept people talking, what in a not exclusively negative way, was the big reveal of this episode. So lots of people were wondering if the big reveal was going to be a mom, one of the moms, and lots of people were wondering if it was going to be her sidekick from the drugstore. And so now we know the answer to that question. I would. I don't know. I guess the only question I will present is I saw Hasbro's version of the helmet that was shown today,
Mhm.
the Smilo Ren helmet or whatever his name is, and it has two little eye things, and this guy's doesn't. So I'm quite curious about like,
Even the colors off.
yeah, it's quite strange. One thing that is not related to the show that I did learn about the show was people were complaining how their lightsabers kept extinguishing. It kept going out. And apparently in Legends, this is like not from me, this is from someone that I heard talking about it. So a lot of reviewers were saying, well, why are their lightsabers going out? And why is he headbutting their lightsabers and causing their lightsabers to go out? And apparently, maybe you guys know this already, in Legends, there's some kind of steel or material that has that effect on the lightsabers. So
It
apparently,
was in the Obi-Wan game.
oh, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called cortosis.
Is it? There you go. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, you learn something new every day. And so, what can I say about the Acolyte? It taught me that.
right. Yeah, because at first I'm like, what were we talking about? Oh, is this Beskar? Like, how's he blocking sabers with his helmet? And then everyone's saber kept going out. So I mean, at least there's an answer for that, which I'm thankful for. It's just not whatever. Let's just make it happen. But yeah, I learned that today. Tony on Star Wars Sith was talking about it. He just found it out as well. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, good. We've got an explanation for it. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't explain it in the show, but at least in the community, like, okay, that makes sense. And I'm like, I'm good with that. And then I think they were even talking about like, well, why didn't they have it like during Order 66? But I guess that metal is so like rare to find. It's like, it's literally like a needle in a haystack.
Mhm.
So he was one of the very rare people to have it. Which,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I was gonna say, what score do you give it, Marcel?
I can't score it. I
You
can't.
can't. Okay,
No.
all right. We'll leave it at that.
he,
then.
he can't go into the negatives.
Oh, jeez,
I just like I said, so the way I approach things, it's like, look, if there's something there and I don't really have much good to say about it, then that leads me into just going off on all of the bad things that I want to say about it. And I just can't, I just don't want to, it's not how I prefer, that's not my preferred mode of communication. There are a lot of other people that will criticize it. And I'll be here all night. So I just don't want to say anything.
Yeah, just give me a minute.
I can't score it. Sorry, guys.
Okay, don't worry, we'll do it for you.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Anthony.
All right.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
I will
Unleash.
say this is the best of the worst episodes.
He is right.
And I actually am shocked. Well, I saw somebody the other day and they actually showed a meme and had all the Jedi standing there and it had all these people X'd out except for like Yord, Saul, and Osha. And I was like, yeah, that's about right. This is like a Star Trek episode where they go down and, you know, like all these other dudes that you ain't never seen in the show before.
A bunch of red
ready
shirts.
to die. Yeah, the red shirts. Yeah. So this is, you know, I actually am shocked that they killed Jecki and Yord. I think they're smoking heroin and meth if they think that this is a better lightsaber fight than the worst lightsaber fight in the prequels. And I understand y'all's wanting to be nice and like stuff like that. And I have a different philosophy. When something is wrong, I think the more people that can eloquently say that it's wrong is better, because I don't have a problem with any of the actresses per se. I think they are basically doing the best with what they're given. I think they're just given shit. That's what they're given. You know? And I was watching Harloff today and he brought up something and I said, you know what? He's dead on. What is the purpose of the twins?
That's
At
what
thi-
I've
at
been
thi-
saying. That's what I've been saying this whole time.
Well, at
No,
this,
I'll
at this
reserve
point,
my
the
opinion
witches,
when it's my turn.
yeah, at this point, the witches don't really. There's nothing like, okay, if the person in the mask would have been one of the mothers, the witches made complete sense. But now that
Right.
it's him, they don't make sense unless there's something that comes later. You know, he reveals that he is a Sith, but he said you may call me a Sith. I mean, let's just face it. In the words of the Jedi, if he's got a red lightsaber and he's using the Force, he's a Sith.
Yeah,
We're
and
gonna be-
in I think an interview in a magazine or something, an article where he did say that he was a Sith.
Okay.
I'm like,
Well, they say a lot of retarded things in
yeah,
interviews. So
Anakin blew up the Death Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I almost think if like the Jackie character was like almost had like he was trying to recruit her, almost like if you had Saul and her going on a mission and he had somehow had some interaction with her and was trying to manipulate her, it might have been a better story. They got stuff there that could work, but they're just allergic to understanding the world in which they're in. And the crazy thing is they come up with this metal, and this is a deep, deep, deep cut, and they come up with it, and they can't come up with like basic things that were actually in recent movies. That's what's so hard to wrap your head around. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, you got May, she's hiding in the cabin. All right. 5 minutes earlier, she's hanging this dude upside down, and she's like, I don't have to do any of this stuff. Why am I hunting the Jedi? My sister's alive. Okay. She goes in there. She's going to turn herself over. She watches all this mayhem go down. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to go out there with a lightsaber. So she goes out there. She gets in a fight with her sister. She gets in a fight with Jackie. I don't understand why Jackie didn't pull out her lightsaber and just mincemeat this girl. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It was almost like she was just refusing to actually get the upper hand. I don't even like. It is mind-boggling to me that May strips down her sister, all right, puts on her clothes, redresses her sister in her clothes, and May gets an injury in her original clothing, and the hole is in May's clothing. And the only reason it was in there is so that this Sith can see it and use a Jedi power that he shouldn't have to heal her.
Hey, Anthony, do you mind if I ask you a question, bro?
Sure.
Because you seem to be paying a lot of attention to the details. So I had a question for you. I don't know if you can answer it. But in the first episode, I think we see Osha has a tattoo.
Yep.
So it's an identifying mark.
Mhm.
And in this episode, you can see the tattoo because
Yep.
it's identifying Osha.
Mhm.
And in the third episode, May gets that little ring on her head,
Yep.
but there's no ring on her head.
Yep.
So why is there no ring on her head?
Reasons.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Just chalk it up to bad writing.
That's what I'm talking
Well,
about. It's
yeah,
stuff
Holes
like
in the
that.
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. And that's the kind of things that just don't make any sense. And it's obvious
Yeah.
the whole reason that Osha had the tattoo is because that's supposed to show us that they got swapped.
It's
Right.
like what's that movie? Parent Trap?
Yeah. Where the only way that you can tell the twins apart. Yeah. So that's the only reason.
Yeah.
It was the whole reason that May had the thing on her forehead is because it showed
Her
Trinity.
initiation, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but it showed Trinity that, hey, this is that girl that we tried to take 16
Yep.
years ago. And then, like, what's going to end up happening probably is Saul is going to look at what he thinks is Osha's arm, and he's going to realize that she doesn't have the tattoo. That's going to probably be what sets him off. But there's so many things like that just don't make any sense. And it's just like poor attention to detail, poor storytelling. You know, we need them to change clothes, therefore, you know, they change clothes. I don't know. Maybe the circle in her head goes away when she's not angry. I don't know. Like,
You know what? That actually crossed my mind. I was like, well, maybe the one had the circle and the other one didn't, because maybe if you lean more toward a darker side, that kind of comes out, because they are
it was
half
like
alien.
an initiation. It was an
They're half-
initiation to the witchcraft stuff.
Yeah,
the-
right.
The circle is
So I
a
start-
manifestation of what I can't remember what they called the initiation, the ascension.
Ascension.
Right. On cue.
You're right. Like
Yeah.
it should, in a sense, always be there. It looked like it was on the other ladies there.
Right. And because they've kind of wanted to ascend and be this way, where Osha wanted
Fine
to
mark.
be a Jedi, and right. So, I mean, that would be logically kind of acceptable.
Yeah, because of the story,
funny.
it can't be there now because we need her. We need her
We need
to
a
pose
mark.
as OSHA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just so much of it that just doesn't make any sense. I
Yeah.
really thought his lightsaber was pretty cool, where he kind of like took out a smaller
Dude,
one.
that was
I thought
badass.
that was badass.
It was like a little dagger, and he
Yeah.
right here. He's like, doom, doom, doom. Like
I thought that was
pretty
badass.
awesome.
I'll tell you what, his mask is horrible,
Mm-hmm.
but he
He's
looked
way
like a
better
freaking
without.
badass
Yeah.
with the sleeves.
Marcel,
off.
please don't do a print of that mask.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
I can
Don't do
almost
it,
guarantee you that's not going to be a good seller.
Little gimp
No,
mask.
there's no
Yeah.
inspiration for it.
But
Bring out the gift.
him with the sleeves off and like the mask
Oh my
off
gosh.
and stuff like that,
I
like he
love
looked
that
like a
movie.
complete badass.
Dude,
He was
Oh.
way
jacked.
more menacing that way.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay.
And that,
Yeah.
that's a positive. I think he was probably the absolute best thing in the show so far when the mask comes off.
Yeah,
Hey,
one of
you know,
the, one of the-
Absolutely.
Anthony, I'm gonna agree with you by doing this.
Yeah.
That's my.
PJ plays that all the time because he loves it so much.
I
you
love
know,
it. I
He plays
I
the
love it.
chant while he's in the shower.
I do that chant in the shower. If I'm stuck in traffic, I just roll down my window and I do that, and then I get the finger from the driver next to me. It's great.
Yeah, he was actually very interesting when he's fighting and he's got the mask on. Like he looks like a complete clown with the mask on.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I'm shocked they snapped Yord's neck.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
like I was shocked. Like,
Yeah, I was like, damn.
yeah, because I just thought he had plot armor. He wasn't going
Jackie
nowhere.
and Qui-Gon have matching
Yeah.
torso tunnels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and here's another thing that I think they need to kind of like establish
Mhm.
the ground rules is
Yeah.
do lightsabers kill you when they go through you or do they not?
I mean, she got
Supposed to.
stabbed 3 times. I mean,
What
literally,
difference
I'm
does
looking-
it make? What
Well, the
difference
other-
does it make if it's 3 or 1? Because Reva has taken 2 to the stomach.
Well,
Yeah,
see, here's
yeah,
the thing
right.
too.
It was
Well,
nothing.
okay, so for Jackie, right? I'm looking at this. Like she's stabbed through the spine. Like this is death. That
And
is
so
death.
was Reva.
I mean, maybe they missed in the stomach to
Twice.
the side. It's the side of the
He
spine.
was 9 years old, and Anakin
It's
impaled
side
her
to the
with
side.
one.
It's
and she
side
was-
to the side of the spine. I don't know. This one, at least it's clear. It's clear. It's clear as day. We could see
Just
it.
establish it. Do lightsabers kill you or do they not?
It should kill you.
Okay, that's my point. 'Cause 5
Unless,
minutes ago, they
unless you
didn't
get
kill you.
stabbed and cauterizes the wound at the same time, and then you're like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
It's
just
pretty quick.
does it kill you or does it not kill you?
It's
That's
supposed to
what they
kill.
need to. Yeah, it's supposed to, but 5 minutes ago it didn't because of plot
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
But you could, if you want to hurt somebody with a lightsaber, there's other ways to do it. You don't have to impale them.
Just like I feel like they're vampires at this point. Just you gotta or zombies. Got to chop off the head to really.
Yeah, it's got to be a
make sure that-
special
there you
lightsaber
go.
to do it. There you go. They got to be dipped in holy water or something. Like,
Oh, jeez.
just so many things like that. Like,
We
Mhm.
haven't
know.
seen the whip lightsaber yet, and
Oh, yes.
Steve said
yeah, the
there was-
dominatrix is coming out next episode.
What's that?
Oh,
The Dominatrix is coming out next episode.
The leather mask.
Yeah, yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The whip.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I get it.
The whip.
I'm a bit slow, and also
It's
there's
okay.
I'm a lot slow.
But trying to make sense of this will actually make you slow. It is actually
my
designed
internet
to
is
dumb
lagging.
you down,
Yeah.
and the more you watch it, you're just like, I think this makes sense.
Negative integers of IQ.
Yeah.
So what's her name? The Leslie Hetland. She
Yeah.
said there's the whip one, and then she said she asked the team to make another weird one.
Yeah.
So there's supposed to be like the whip is like the novel one, but then there's a secret one to be.
I wonder if his coming out of the bottom of the hilt was the other one.
Oh.
Like I think the whip is gonna just be completely.
useless.
Yeah, I just can't. This is gonna be stupid. I think what they got for him, that's pretty badass. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
I think I agree with you that he's the most interesting part of the episode, and to add to that, I think he did a really great job of making himself appear very scrawny and small.
Yeah, right.
And
'cause
now
he's
he's
jacked.
like cut and massive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whatever
was shocked.
happened, whatever Hollywood magic they did to make that happen, that was very well executed.
You know something
'Cause
else
he-
I don't understand? Why did OSHA not want Saul to kill him after
That's-
this
Yeah.
dude just
Yeah.
went full Palpatine and
Yeah.
massacred 8 Jedi?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're not
and
gonna
it-
kill him.
It's like you saw your friends get cut down, right? Like, well, the Jedi's get cut down, and Soul has the chance to end this like massacre, but OSHA goes, "Stop," and just looks at Soul, and Soul's like, "Yeah, I shouldn't kill him. Yeah,
Yeah,
even though
but
he
you
killed
know
all
what?
my friends. Yeah,
But-
this guy
He
let him
told you
survive.
why he's here. He's here to kill all
Kill
of
you, all of you."
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, they know each other. So I don't know if
No.
this is his son, his nephew, or whatever.
Yeah, but OSHA
But he
stopped
goes, you
it.
know who I am.
It's his old lover.
Yeah, but here's the thing too: is that OSHA? It's not even Soul that stopped himself.
Yeah.
OSHA,
but,
OSHA did.
Yeah, but he
but
listened.
he didn't. But he didn't argue back with her. Like, no, I got to take care of this guy, and
Yeah.
just did it. Like, there's a reason why he didn't do it, and because there's a dark side to him that we got to learn about.
Absolutely. But OSHA does not know that.
Yeah.
OSHA, why is, if anything,
Yeah, why
he
is
should-
she trying to get him to not kill him?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was. Yeah, yeah.
And you
if,
know
anything,
another-
if anything, that's what took
He
me
should
out.
have been like, do it.
Well,
Yeah.
kind of.
Soul
it's
should have
an
been like, wait a minute, I shouldn't kill him. Like, he's my brother, whatever, friend.
We need to get to the bottom
son,
of this. He should have
yeah.
took him in. Yeah, something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, okay, like he's gonna like stop himself, but not OSHA. Like, OSHA has zero knowledge of the Sith.
She doesn't have any relationship to him at all.
Yeah, exactly.
This is just a bad guy in a mask.
Yeah.
So what this reminds me of is, in terms of writing, how Boba Fett was written alongside what's the gal's name? His associate, the girl,
Fennec
Asian-
Shan.
Fennec
Shan.
Fennec
Yeah,
Shan.
so he would make a suggestion, and then Shand would say, "Oh, well, how about we don't do that?" And he'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're right. We shouldn't do that."
Right.
And there's a sort of parallel in the writing. I
I
think
see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
another
just-
thing I thought
yeah.
was weird is like he just killed was it 7 people?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just left all the bodies there.
Yeah,
They just left them all there.
bro, you
Like,
could.
we're not gonna burn
I
'em.
said, bro, Anthony, you could go all night.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's so many things that just like don't make sense. I'm actually wondering, are they really dead? Because if they come back, you know,
Oh, the Plo Koon Jedi is dead. I was watching it right before.
yeah,
I
Reva
came
was
on.
dead when Anakin impaled her when she was a youngling, and then she wasn't. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, why did he take all these people? Like, this was his Padawan. Why does he not take them back, give them a proper death, show, like, they need to be on the phone with the Jedi Council being like, listen, this dude just broke us off. All right.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like, we need help. He just broke off my whole crew.
Mm-hmm.
Send
and
back up.
we need everybody, all hands on deck. We got a Sith Lord, like, but I don't think he's the master. I think
No.
he's the apprentice.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. So Anthony, what's your score 1 to 10
Well, since I said this was the best
of the worst?
of the worst, and last week I gave a 0.
You're moving on
Um,
up.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
as far as Star Wars, I gave it like a 0. As far like if you want to, I don't know, something else, like where you have to just like
Suspend disbelief. Yeah.
yeah, to suspend the suspense of disbelief. I would say it had like a full blown 11, because it was awesome if you just, have no brain cells. Yeah, I'd say I'd give it a 1 because
geez. Okay.
like I do think the lightsaber fights were cool. I think they made a colossal error in saying that like this is going to rival Duel
Yeah,
of
that
Fate.
was a mistake. That was
like
Yeah. Just
Oh,
like,
just-
you're just asking for
just keep
punishment.
your mouth shut.
yes. It's like now my expectations is super high,
Well,
right? Because Duel of the Fates is one of the best lightsaber fight scenes ever, if
Top
not the
3,
best.
no argument.
No
They did
Whatever
that with
order you want to
Kenobi.
put them in, it's in the top 3.
Yeah.
They
Far
did the
From
same
might
thing with
not be
Kenobi.
Far
They
From.
said it would be the
No.
rematch of the.
No,
Of the-
no, Far. I don't want it.
Dude, she did make two twins. Manifested it. That could be a high.
And see,
Do not.
Don't touch Plagueis, please.
here's the thing, like because of the time period that they have put themselves in, they've got a couple options of what they can do. If they would have had the person in the suit be one of the witches, on a technicality, they could say, well, this is not a Sith. This was a witch that was posing as a Force user, manipulating another person into killing people. That would have been their out on a technicality. They've already said this is obviously a Force user. He's got a red lightsaber, and he says, you might call me a Sith. I think I know what they're going to do with him. I think he is Ren. As
Like
in the Knights of
the
Ren.
Ren. Oh.
Knights of
Yeah.
Ren.
Yeah, but
And
Knights of Ren did not have any lightsabers.
Well, Kylo Ren did. I don't
Yeah,
think
but
them other people knew how to use the Force.
Oh, jeez Louise.
But that's a whole nother thing. I would not be surprised if they make him of that organization, whether he's Ren or he's a Knight of Ren or whatever the case may be. And so that would be their thing. Like, well, technically, he really wasn't a Sith. Therefore, there was no Sith for a millennia. But the problem is that they put themselves in a time period where if this is a Sith and he is the apprentice of somebody, there's only 2 people it can be. And that's Tenebris and it's Plagueis. Now, had they gone further back, they don't have that problem. And that's where they've almost purposely pigeonholed themselves into it. Now, do I want them to touch Plagueis or Tenebris? Hell no. I don't want them anywhere near it because they will fuck it up as far as they can fuck it up. But if they don't do it, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm torn with some of this stuff. Even like with how they did Vader in Obi-Wan, like I understand that in the original movies, they didn't have the technology or the means to make Vader be the type of Vader that he should have been, just because of technology reasons. Now, if they go before and we do a show about Vader, I want them to put Vader at full power. I don't want them to make Vader not be as powerful just because of what happened in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it. I'm torn on it, and I almost want to just say, you know what? Just don't go into that territory. That way you don't make any mistakes.
Well, at least I won't be disappointed with what their interpretation of Plagueis and Tenebris is. So, All right, let's go to Sean. Sean, what's your thoughts on this episode, my friend?
I tell you what, though, after the last 3 weeks, like we've been talking about this, and then I have a completely different outlook on a lot of this Disney stuff now. And honestly, it was as of like last week, I was just like, you know what? OT's my Star Wars. I need to put that in my vault, and that's my happy space.
Mhm.
Anything new that comes out, like like you said, I was always pretty optimistic. Oh, don't bash yet till it comes out. Like I'm gonna go into most of these new shows without any expectations. And if it's bad, I'm not going to watch it because I always feel like, oh, I'm a Star Wars fan. I feel obligated. I got to watch it. It's kind of like, even if it's so horrible, it's like that bad car wreck that you can't stop looking at, And then one thing we also talk about it on the show. So I almost feel a little bit obligated. Like I need to watch it. So I went into this episode just, okay, it's over. It is what it is. I'm just going to not enjoy, I'm not going to brag about this. I'm just going to kind of let it go. But I was actually pleasantly surprised on this episode. I enjoyed it because of the lightsaber fights. They were definitely not better than the prequels, but I think they were better than the sequels.
Oh
don't you
yeah,
think?
I mean,
Like it was,
I
better
agree.
like it was
than,
really good.
Anything is better than the sequels.
And
I would say they might be the best that Disney has done.
yes, the lightsaber fights were amazing.
Oh, can I interrupt just
actually,
for 1 second?
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, go ahead.
Sean. Somebody pointed this out. This isn't from me. You see the cut on the trees. So the trees should have fallen in the other direction than they actually did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's attention
yeah.
to detail.
Yeah,
That's attention to detail.
that's par for the course. We call that.
Mhm.
It's
I'm
fun.
sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you, Sean,
No,
but the frame was
Oh, it's
there.
fine. It's true. But yeah, pleasantly surprised on this episode. Love the choreography and the lightsaber battles were great. I actually really like the Sith now. Like the mask is like, the smile in the mask bugs me. But when he took the helmet off, I'm like, this dude's badass. Like, and I love his lightsaber. I thought the fight between him and Jackie was good. And a lot of people say, oh, how does he take down these 5 other Jedi, but this Padawan? But if you think about it, Anakin was a strong Padawan. He was probably stronger than, Obi-Wan.
So was Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but Obi-Wan also whipped his ass twice. But it's like,
Yeah, but I'm saying
here nor there.
Obi-Wan as a Padawan.
Right.
That's
Oh,
what I mean.
yeah, I got you. Yeah. But
Yeah.
so I really liked her. I liked her character actually. Out of all the new characters they introduced, I really liked her and Saul were my 2 favorite of the new characters. So I did enjoy seeing her go toe to toe with him. I thought the elbow to the helmet and kind of cracked it was like, like this dude was
Doesn't
taking
make sense.
lightsaber. He was taking lightsaber hits. He was headbutting lightsabers.
Yeah.
And like
It
this
doesn't
girl
make sense.
This 50-pound girl elbows him and the helmet cracks in half. I thought that was like another
Girl
hole
power.
in the right. Yeah, that's a lot of girl power. That bitch is strong. But
Her headbutt is, or her elbow is stronger than a lightsaber.
oh, it's crazy.
That's essentially what they tell you.
But they kept the fighting going for the majority of this whole episode, so
Mhm.
it was enjoyable to watch. Considering the last 4 episodes were like, I was just making myself get through it. And the force healed thing, I was like, what? But then I do agree with, like you said, well, maybe he's not like full Sith. Maybe he is he was like a warlock that has the witch powers, and maybe that's how he can float down like Mary Poppins, and he has some healing ability. I don't know. I'm just trying to make
Sean.
sense of this thing.
Sean, do you really think that that's what they're gonna do?
They're not gonna. Listen, can I not have this in my mind to try to make? I'm trying to make sense of this in my own world.
Dude, you don't drink alcohol, you don't do drugs. I know you're a rational thinker, but come on, man.
I know,
Come
it's
on.
not
You
gonna-
know they ain't gonna do that.
No, because the actor already said, he goes, "Well, I'm a Sith." But like I said, I have actually grown to love that character ever since the helmet came off. And he was all jacked up underneath there, and the way he fought was pretty badass. Now, granted, in the choreography, there was a couple of times where when he first started fighting, they were all around him. I was actually looking like he would go through one and to attack another, and the other person was sitting there behind him, like waiting for him to make his move before they struck. I'm like, you could have easily struck this dude down. There's like 5 of you in a circle. Like, he's a badass, but like you could have got him. But
You know
I
how they
enjoyed
could have
it.
made that look better? Sped him up.
Right.
so that
That's
it
kind of
did.
what they did in the sequels, right? With Kylo Ren and Rey. Didn't they used to speed their fight sequences up?
Yeah, but I mean, for instance, like make him move faster than everybody around him.
Oh, like a force
That
speed type thing?
yeah, like in Man of Steel with
Yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah.
the Kryptonian chick, where she just like moved so fast they were just sitting there basically frozen.
Might as well. The dude can fly. He can float around.
Well, that was the whole thing with Palpatine when he attacked all them. It was supposed to be that there was just a red blur, and they were so caught off guard
Right.
that they didn't even like they were dead before before he landed,
Yeah.
so to speak.
And it was when he snapped Yord's neck. That was like I didn't see that coming. I was like, damn, like they made this dude a pretty good badass. Like I actually enjoy his character
He
now.
decapitated one of them.
I'm just not a fan of the helmet. Like the outfit's fine, and I like the guy. The helmet, I'm just not a huge fan of. But
So, Sean, can I ask you a question?
yeah,
Since you like the character, I'm going to do something kind of unfair, and I recognize that it's unfair. When Vader was around in the first Star Wars, he was unlikable in that you knew that he was evil, and it was unambiguous. He was a bad guy. How do you feel about this guy in terms of being a bad guy?
the thing is, I've grown to love the bad guys. So, right?
All right.
Like when you're a little kid, of course you're always like, "Oh, the good guys are going to win. He's bad and he's good." But I think for the majority of us, when we first saw Vader, we were still like, "Holy crap, this dude's a badass." And as you got older and you go through your teenage years and you're watching Star Wars, you're always a little rebellious teenager. All of a sudden, you want to be the bad guy. So then all of a sudden, Vader's your favorite character.
Do you think that again, this is just your opinion, do you think that the way he was written in this show, especially with how he responded to, what is it who are you, what is it that you want? Do you think that he was written to be sort of a bad guy and for you to feel a little bit of understanding towards him? Or do you think that he was written just to be a bad guy?
I think they wrote it for a reason, like for him to say that, like, you don't understand me, or you don't accept the way I use my powers versus your powers. There was a reason the dialogue was there, which I didn't mind it. Like, I mean,
It might make more sense once we get more context.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't feel sympathetic for him because he's Sith and Sith and Jedi. I mean,
I just thought he looked imposing, and
yeah, and the way he acted and his demeanor changed. And then it was funny because like when he first appeared and had his helmet on and he's fighting and you could see under the cloak with his sleeves, he was sleeveless. And I was like, man, that's not that Asian guy. It's like, that dude's all jacked up. The dude's got big arms. And I thought it was like a stunt actor and they just overlooked it. But then when he took the helmet off and I'm like, damn, this dude's badass. Like, but to be honest, I was hoping it was going to be one of the witches versus him, because I think the whole time we're watching this, it was almost too obvious that it was him. Mm-hmm. And I was hoping it would be one of the witches and that would make sense. And, she wants her daughter back and she wants to still train her. But like I said, I like this guy. He's a badass Sith. Just not a fan of the helmet, but everything else, like, his lightsaber too. When he pulled that off and killed Jackie that way, I was like, oh, like it was a good episode.
Yeah.
It actually made me smile for a moment. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. But
yeah.
I am looking at it with a little bit lighter heart as well. I'm not diving into it as much because the more I dive into it, it just makes me angry. And I don't want to do that. Star Wars is supposed to be fun, something I enjoy. I don't need to have negativity. And I need to tell myself, if I don't like the stuff, I'm just not going to watch it. And then maybe something that new comes on and it's good now, and I'll watch it. I've got hope for Andor, the second season of Andor. So
we'll definitely talk about Andor in just a second. But yeah, what's your score?
TJ?
I'm sorry.
Well, you can get Sean's score, and I was just gonna say, what are your thoughts?
Oh, okay. Yeah, what's your score, Sean?
For the watchability of this episode, I'd give it an 8. I know Anthony's was low, but I enjoyed just watching the fighting because I really went into this. I went into this just like it is what it is, and I was pleasantly surprised. And then with him being a badass, I was like, okay, I like this guy. Like, so
It's
it
all the
definitely
little
elevated
things
it.
that they do that just like start piling up. You know,
Right,
like,
and that's what I'm trying not. And I did catch myself a couple times. Whoa, what they do? And then I just said, "Don't worry about it." Like you said last week. Hey, just go.
yeah, why
go,
not?
Go,
Fuck it.
go all
Like,
out.
you know,
Yeah, just do whatever you want to do.
yeah.
But it was very enjoyable to watch. And
Yeah.
like I said, I give it an 8.
Wow, that's a pretty high score. That's awesome. All right, so for me, so I'll start off because I think I've been kind of really disappointed with the show. I think Sean and Anthony knows this. I mean, I was pretty positive going into the show. I enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I think I gave it like a 7.8 out of 10. I thought it was a good start. Then it went downhill from there. And going into this episode, I was just hearing right before the episode aired. I don't know if it's just my feed or the way it's set up. I don't know if Facebook is listening, but I get articles saying actors saying that this this lightsaber battle is going to be better, or if not rivals the prequels or the Duel of the Fates. And I'm like, oh my god, like here we go. Now my expectations is super high, right? Like I need to be like blown away with this fight scene. And to be honest though, like even though I was disappointed with some of the past couple episodes, I really want to like the show. And I'll give you some examples, but I'll start off with the positives. The positives about this show in general is the music, the score. If you guys listen to the score, it really immerses you into this Star Wars universe, right? If you close your eyes and not listen to the dialogue, you're going to be like, wow, this is a really good score. The cinematography, like when you watch it, you see some of the transitions. It's classic Star Wars transitions, right? The slide effect and all that stuff. But with this episode as well, really was, even though it does not rival the prequels, please, whoever said that, eat your words, because it does not rival the Duel of the Fates. It's a good lightsaber fight scene. It's probably one of the best lightsaber fight scenes in the Disney era.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's the best overall.
But wouldn't you say it's better than the OT?
Oh yeah, but you
Right?
can't fault the OT though. You can't bring the OT in this one. It was made in a long time ago.
Right.
No, I would say that the one in Return of the Jedi, it's not necessarily the choreography. It's the emotions. Aspect.
Yeah.
The emotional aspect.
Yeah.
You got Vader. He's holding back. He doesn't want to kill his. There's a lot of things playing into that fight scene, right?
Right.
But in terms of choreography, definitely no comparison, because obviously it's like how many years ago, right? But with that being said, I think I was showing the Old Republic, like the cinematics from that game, and that's the type of fight scenes I'm expecting Disney to do, right? And yes, this comes pretty close. I wouldn't say it's the best. There's like some holes that I saw in the fight scenes in this battle where the Jedis were just standing there, literally standing next to him.
Well, that's what I was saying. There's times where they could have just struck him down.
Yeah. And in the headbutting, okay, I get it. I felt it was like some sort of Beskar armor or things like that. But overall, like I think the mask is a poorly designed. It was, yes, exactly. It was entertaining. It was a poorly designed mask. I get it was supposed to be like a xenomorph and all that good stuff, but honestly, it's too Kylo Ren-ish. And there's teeth, and it's just really. We need something different, in my opinion, right? But once he took off the mask, I was like, I'm with you, Sean. I'm like, whoa, like he looks pretty badass, and I hope he keeps the mask off the whole time. I just felt like, he did a great job. What's the Jackie? I think she's a great actress.
Yeah, she did good.
Her acting skills is better than the main actress.
Yeah. I agree with that.
just the way she acts, the way it just emotion. Like I really connected with this character Jackie, and it's sad that
Used her
she
scenes
died.
very, very well to maximum effect with the scenes that she, especially in this episode, with the scene that she was given.
Yes, and even before that though, like when she's training in Coruscant and like in the Jedi Temple, like I was like drawn into her more than the main actress. But yeah, so just to give a little background, I'm Filipino, right? Obviously, this Sith Lord, or whatever, I don't know what he's calling himself, um, he's actually Filipino, and it's good to see like representation of Filipinos in the screen. I've been kind of like wanting that, and I'm glad to see that uh, we see him as a Filipino as a bad guy in this show, which is pretty cool, and he does a pretty good job. I think he's there's some dialogue where I was like, ugh, who wrote that?
I don't
Like,
blame that on him though.
I don't blame that on him. Exactly. When he was like, no, no, no. I'm like, what is this? Like, come on. But yeah, I think the fight scene was probably the best thing in this episode. Besides that, my gosh, there's so many plot holes. I know people are saying, "Oh, you just don't like it, blah blah blah, and this and that. You're this and you're that. You're negative." No, really, please pay attention. Yes, I get the prequels. They were poorly written, but the storyline was there. The lore was there, right? This one, I have no idea. The twins, I feel like they're bipolar. They're 1 minute they're one.
They are.
They are. It's like it's so like confusing. They're changing. It's like they.
I don't want you to leave. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
It's just like it's all. That's what's the frustrating part. And to be honest, I know there was a theory that okay, yes, there were twins when they were younger, and they didn't look identical, and now they look identical. I was hoping maybe one of the sisters died, and now we're getting maybe like, she's just imagining the sister being alive.
Right, I heard that too.
Yeah. What,
Yeah,
what if,
to be
the
honest-
other one died and then she split her body like in the X-Men?
Oh my
that
gosh!
one character.
Oh
and
my
then
god! No.
she
No,
duplicates herself.
Now,
And
And the only way you can tell the difference is the tattoo.
Yeah, but see, the thing too is like I want things to make sense. As a Star Wars fan, I see a lot of holes, and I'm trying to like I spend more time trying to make sense of the story rather than being immersed in the universe, right? Yes, the prequels. I know people compare. Well, the prequels had poor writing and this and that, and the characters Jar Jar was annoying and all this stuff. But one thing about what was consistent with the prequels, you may not like episode 1, you may not like episode 2, and I get it. I agree with you guys. There are some things there in the prequels that I dislike, but what still got me into liking them is the story. It came from the creator, the lore, all those things connected. It all
Yeah.
connected. With this show, nothing connects. Nothing makes sense. Why am I like trying to figure out what these twins are trying to do? I don't know what they're doing. Do you guys know what they're doing? I have no
Hell no.
idea.
No, we're
I have-
5 episodes in and we're clueless.
Yes, we're 5 episodes
It
in.
doesn't
What
make
the
any
F?
sense.
It doesn't make
Every other
any
scene contradicts the scene before it.
Hey,
Yes.
PJ, may I interject for a second?
Sorry. I'm like granting
Oh
here.
no, you go, bro. In fact, your all of your ideas are well, they're doing two things. One, you're taking the negative part of the show, and it's causing you to focus on what it was that you loved about the prequels. So you're basically bringing the gold out of the prequels to say, no, there is actually gold here, and I'm showing it to you because you can't find any of that in this show.
Yes.
And so
yeah.
what this reminds me of with the twins is Reva's motivations in Kenobi. It's almost beneath criticism, which is why I prefer just to remain positive. The behavior of both twins, I love you, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to murder all these Jedis, I'm going to turn myself in.
Yes.
There is zero explanation, and you don't need outside context. You need an answer within that scene for why
Exactly.
they're turning on a dime.
Yep.
And so the writing is so the condition of the writing is so beneath criticism because it's just so obviously and deeply and profoundly flawed
Yeah.
that what you're saying is so true. And personally, I'm glad you're saying it, because I will admit to not being like the biggest fan of the prequels, because when those came out, I was at such an age where my scrutiny was really high, and it prevented me from enjoying the things that you're mentioning now. So I really appreciate you mentioning those things. I think it's always important to focus on
Yes,
what
and
you like.
and what I suggest to people that like, like they're saying like, oh, episode 1 and 2 are very hard to get through. There is a 20-minute cut of the prequels. And Anthony knows this, right? Like,
Mhm.
if you could look online, there's a 20-minute cut of the sequels where it just cuts out the BS, right? The Jar Jars and all that stuff, and you just watch the story of one Sith Lord playing both sides of the fence and destroying the Republic, destroying the Jedi, having Anakin, the chosen one, as his apprentice. This is what Darth Sidious did. And that, if you saw it, you're like, holy crap, that's a good story. There's consistency. It connects with the original trilogy. Yes, there's there's lots of flaws. I agree with anyone that disliked the prequels. I agree. I listened to it when I was young. And yes, I agreed with you guys. I never disagreed with anyone about the prequels hate. I knew it, but you know what? It still was Star Wars, right? Because it was coming from the creator, the maker. It's from his mouth. So it holds a lot of weight. With this one, yes, it's the cinematography is great. The music is phenomenal. Some of the actors, they're great as well, but what's lacking is the storyline. What are we doing? You're taking us into this roller coaster ride. And I get it. Like, people are like, "Well, you just dislike it because of this." Because no, I'm giving you the reasons. The reasons are the plot. What is going on? Tell me what is going on.
Well,
Right?
can I add something to that?
Yeah.
I think the difference between us disliking things about
Mhm.
this versus what people disliked about the prequels, the things they disliked about the prequels were like they didn't really care for the Gungans. Okay.
Mhm.
It wasn't that the whole plot
the
of the movie
characters.
didn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
Yes, which I agree with you guys. I mean, Jar Jar. Yes, I know I love Jar Jar. And a part of it is just also just I like to make everyone laugh. Like, I'm
Right.
the token Jar Jar fan.
Right.
And things like that. But yes, he is annoying. I'm telling you, as a
But-
Jar Jar fan, he is annoying.
Right. But
you know
him not
what?
being annoying is not the same as
Yeah.
the
That's-
plot of this show doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Episode
Anthony,
to
I don't-
episode, it completely makes no sense.
I'm just sick and
Anthony-
tired of the sisters flipping the switch every single time. It's just, as a fan, as a viewer, it's a roller coaster ride. Like, I'd rather not go on. Like, guys, make up your damn mind. Are you with each other, against each other? What are you guys doing? You want to go with the Jedi now? You want to be playing like a detective or undercover as your sister, and then trying to spy on the Jedi? What is going on? What is going on?
Yeah, it's a mess.
It's a mess.
Because even when Anthony and I went and saw the anniversary of Phantom Menace, like, as much shit as I give the Phantom Menace, Anthony, I don't know if you remember, but we were either in the theater or walking out, and I even said something to you. I'm like, you know what? As much as I give it grief, it has a good story. It's a well-written story. And I'm someone that can't stand the Gungan. Like, I have a lot of negative stuff to say about Phantom Menace,
And
but
you are
the story
absolutely
is not one thing that I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
the story was great. Like,
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
three of
I
those
wish
movies had
Marshall was
had
there
a
for
game
that.
plan, right?
Yeah, and the thing too is, I agree with you, Sean. Like, I've heard that since I was 19 years old. I've been on the playgrounds. I'm in the diner with my friends up to 4 o'clock in the morning, arguing with them. Not even arguing, but just discussing with them about the, the prequels. And I get it. I understand your criticism. I understand it, and I agree with you. But the story was there, right? And you know what? It comes from a unique mind, George Lucas. And we will never ever get that again. As much as we try to replicate it, we will never duplicate it.
That's true.
That's from a song, by the way. I think it was Notorious B.I.G.
BJ's gonna start rapping.
Yeah, but again, I agree with you guys. The fight scene was great. Everything else, besides the cinematography, the music, and all that. What's her name? Jackie's acting.
Did you see her lightsaber
Manny-
training?
Yeah, it was
No.
great. She was.
Yeah, there's a
and you-
video of her lightsaber training.
Mhm.
Like, I actually appreciate that they actually went through some training, because there's been some other ones where it didn't really look like they went through any training.
Mhm.
So there's things I like about, like, when they do something good. Like, I think he's a pretty good character. Once we find out more,
Yeah,
maybe some of this wishy-washiness with the twins,
Mhm.
maybe it'll make sense once we get more content.
I hope so.
But right now, it just seems like it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yes, I'm hoping maybe he's like controlling them, something. Again, like I'm trying to make sense. I'm trying to put this idea in my head. Okay, well, and maybe they're just she's imagining it. That's why them not looking alike when they were younger. There's a reason for that. Maybe like I'm trying, guys.
Right.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm honestly trying to.
I'll actually
like
be
the
shocked if there's a logical reason for
Mm-hmm.
why they were fraternal twins when they were young and now they're identical.
Yeah.
If they actually have a reason for that, I'm going to be shocked.
Yeah, and that's why, like I said, I'm trying my best to like the show, and it's really hard. But again, if I were to give a score, I'll give it like how many Jedi's died? 7. I'll give it a 7. Yeah, that's the only reason why I gave a 7 out of 10 is because
A
there's
vote
7
for every dead Jedi.
Yeah, I vote for every dead Jedi. Come on, guys, it's Sith cast. By the way, Marcel's print. Come on, we gotta give him a round of applause, man. That print is beautiful in the background. I'm like,
It
this
is.
whole time I'm going this rant, and all I could see is that Death Trooper in the background, speaking
Hanging
to me.
around.
Yeah,
One thing we didn't talk about: this dude
Mhm.
got a collateral kill. He killed 2 dudes with one lightsaber blow because he impaled one and then used the Force to pull the other one on it.
That was good.
Yeah, that was badass.
That was
yeah, that
epic.
was.
Or
definitely
remember when
cool.
I love when he used the Force and pulled. Was it OSHA that he pulled and grabbed her by the throat? I was like, oh, dude.
Yeah, but you know what he should have done?
He was.
He
so
should have just
awesome.
Force choked her.
Yeah, but that was cooler though, because the way he was just.
Yeah,
He's
I
a
liked
good,
it.
He's a good.
I liked it, but I'm surprised they didn't just let it be Force choke.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and by the way, that moth scene, get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. I thought that was kind of silly. Like this is like one badass Sith, and all of a sudden these moths come and take him away.
And he's flying away.
If he would have died like that, I'd have been livid.
It reminded me of what they did with Steppenwolf in the Justice League movie when the parademons took him off.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, there's 3 more.
Yeah, Anthony, I
unfortunately.
agree with you. It will be quite the feat if they can tie up all the various loose ends into a rational thread, dare I say, of
I see how you did that.
Yeah.
Of all of these elements of the show. For myself, for Disney, and Disney Star Wars, and as we started off the show, Rogue One is definitely the exception. When
why can't we get more of that? Marcel, why can't we get more of that?
She had promised George Lucas that she made a big deal of honoring the show and honoring the characters, and she clearly had no intention of doing that. Iger's book, he implied to Lucas heavily that they would use his treatment for 7, 8, and 9, and they didn't do that. Mm-hmm. So it was at that point where one has to understand the kind of betrayal that is that took place.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that there's a Netflix documentary special.
We'll get that in 20 years. Hopefully, we'll see it before we die. But
I know
because Star Wars is in my DNA. Whatever live action show comes out, I'm gonna watch it. I know that about myself. There's just no way a Star Wars live action show is going to come out and I'm not going to go see it. Even, and I'm not saying this like because I'm excited. It's pulling me by my soul. Like I can't not go. So if it's a Rey show, I'm gonna go see it. I know that I'm not. I expect that I will be disappointed by it. But whatever, even if it's Disney, whatever live show comes out, I'll be there. I'll be watching it. I'm locked in. But from the get-go, KK and Iger, the level of betrayal that took place is epic.
Unforgivable.
It's one of the history books that we got a little bit of Lucas's opinions at the Palme d'Or ceremony and when he had the opportunity to speak on it, but he has signed agreements with them where he can't. It's a non-disparagement clause, where he can't say anything negative about what he sold them.
I'm sure. Ugh.
But we did get a little bit. He's like, "Hey, nobody over there understands the Force." Okay, so he's kind of communicating to the fans. In my estimation, look, this is how I feel about it.
Can I say something? It's I don't know where Disney Star Wars is heading, but can I say that Jon Favreau brought life back to Star Wars with Mandalorian season 1 and 2. I don't know what happened with Book of Boba. I feel there was a lot of meddling involved. I don't know what happened with season 3 of Mandalorian. I feel like there's a lot of meddling involved there. But let's just say he's been awfully quiet. I don't hear anything about the Mandalorian movie. I feel like so far it's been Dave Filoni saying that like he knows where he wants his Mandalorian movie to go. What happened to Jon Favreau? Is he tired too? Is he sick and tired of like, hey, you know what? I'm done with Disney.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There was.
I haven't heard
stuff with shit. What's her name?
Kennedy.
No. Shit. What's her name?
Who are you talking about, Anthony?
The Cara Dune character. I can't think of her name.
With Gina Carano.
I've heard a lot of stuff that left a sour taste in his mouth.
Yeah. And I do want to mention too, if you guys want to know how a majority of the Star Wars fans feel, watch Snarky Jay's video. Look up Snarky. I think that was a great rant because I think at some point a lot of fans are sick and tired of being called like toxic. Listen, everyone in this community, including with Collection Wars, Hyperdrive, Spice Runners Lounge, Rogue, look at us. We all get along. We like each other. There's no animosity. We're not toxic. I just don't understand why Disney is pitting us as toxic fans. We're not. You're just not.
They don't want to address what we're complaining about. So the easiest way to do that
it's kind of tiring.
Accuse us of something.
To label you as something.
Yeah, and then we have to spend our energy defending.
Amongst,
it's a tactic. There was a political pundit years ago named Saul Alinsky, and that was his tactic, to accuse your enemy of an ist or an ism, and then they spend all of their energy defending that they're not that, instead of like hypothetically giving you policy things. So if you accuse somebody of being a racist, they have to contend with that instead of them actually addressing the fact that like your plot doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. Nothing we've said has anything to do with the sex of somebody or
I only believe Michael Zero.
No. Dude, listen, that guy is in the
I think that dude
I think he's in a
hey, Star Wars fans. I wanted to tell you the latest scandal.
I think he's the person that actually created clickbait. Like,
he
is the originator of it.
Yeah,
but nothing that we've said has got anything to do with whether somebody, what their race is, what their sex is, or anything. Like the things we're talking about are actually like valid concerns that doesn't make any sense.
I think we grew up as a society like that we just look past a lot of things now, right?
Those things are irrelevant. We're not worried about that.
We don't care about that. We just want good Star Wars content. We want good writing. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at
We-
Last of Us too. I mean, Last of Us, the show.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
one of the
fantastic.
one of the best episodes was the love story in that episode, right? In that
Well,
show.
I wouldn't say that was the best episode, but
No. But I'm saying, but there was a lot of
It
people
was
that
good.
But no, it was-
yeah, it was
it
good,
was-
but
I didn't know anything about that, and anything about that whole game, and it was you talking about it last year, I believe it was, and I was like, oh, I didn't got anything to watch. Let me check this out, and I was like, damn, this is really good. I actually like this. And everybody was saying how true it was to the game, you know, and like the things I always say is, if they would stay true to the universe and to the lore that they are dealing with, the people that actually like and know about that stuff are going to appreciate it and love it. And it's not going to have any bearing on the people that don't know about it.
yes, because you know what's going to do is going to create a connection, because the people that know about Star Wars is going to have great conversations with the people that don't know anything about Star Wars. Hey, did you know that Luke uses this? Hey, did you know this Death Star? Anakin blew up the Death. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it creates that connection. That's why the MCU was so successful, because it created that connection between the people that grew up with the comics, that read the comics as a kid, and with their kids. And that's like, hey, that's Iron Man. That's how he's supposed to be. Hey, that's Black Panther. Hey, that's Captain America. And that's the conversations we are lacking with Star Wars, because we're just like saying, oh, yeah, that's not how it's supposed to be. That's not how the Force works.
That's not how any of this works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like
it's
my
just
dad
like-
called me today and we were talking and he was like, you know, I already told him last week. I was like, yeah, this show doesn't make any sense. My dad likes it. He's a casual Star Wars fan.
Mhm.
He likes it. But
Okay.
he's not looking at all the things that I know that this doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
Because he doesn't know that there shouldn't be any Sith. You know, he's just casually watching Star Wars. You know,
But I mean, maybe that's what Disney is looking for. But I feel
right?
like
But my point has always been, if you stay true to the lore, no matter what the lore is, if you stay true to it, all the people that read the books, that have grown up with this, that are like damn encyclopedias about it, they're gonna like it. That is not going to make the people that have never watched it not like it.
Yeah.
That's my point.
And also, just to piggyback off of that, and you know, you watched The Last of Us, and I played the game.
Right.
And can I say, at work, I'm having these great conversations with my colleagues who never played the game, right? Who never touched a video game controller, asking me, hey, what is this? Who is this? What does this mean? How did they get this? And I'm like talking to them and having a nice conversation without any bickering, no fighting. You know, it's just like, yeah, that's it. This is this is that, this is this. Why can't we get that with Star Wars? Is that too much to ask? And I just
See,
want to
like,
say,
I enjoyed The Last of Us. Now, let's say hypothetically, there was stuff in it that was absolutely contrary, that didn't make any sense in comparison to the game. I would not have known that,
yeah,
you know, but you would have been like, well, dude, it was all right, but this is kind of doesn't work. This doesn't work. And I'd be like, oh man, that's a bummer. Why did they do that?
mhm,
Like that's the whole thing, you know, like
Yeah.
it's not like they don't have a template to go by, like what works in this world. And my thing has always been, the people that know all this stuff are going to like it. And these are pretty good storylines that you could go with. There's no reason to think that the people that don't know any of this stuff, the casual fan, aren't going to like it. And
Yeah.
that's what I've got the biggest problem with.
yeah. Well, I just want to say that no matter what, whether you like the Acolyte show or you don't like the Acolyte show, we still love you guys. You guys are Star Wars
No
fans.
pity, but we love you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't like Star Trek, yes, then you're in a good company. And I just gotta say, thank you to Marcel. Marcel, you do amazing work. I love that print that I bought for me, which is the Darth Maul print. I'm glad that you're doing more prints. I'm excited what else you have in store for us as
Thanks.
collectors. And man, that trooper looks phenomenal.
Thank
You're
you.
not making
Yeah.
that in the smaller version.
Yeah, there's the we have 30 by 40 in the signature series and non-signature series, and it's also in the 16 by 20. It's not
Okay.
everybody's gonna grab a massive 30 by 40. People just don't have the space. Some
Yeah,
people
that's
do.
my issue. My issue is I don't have the space. That's the only reason I buy
Yeah,
the
yeah.
smaller ones.
Yeah,
'Cause I
yeah,
think I've
yeah.
got like
No,
4 or 5 of yours. I
So
think
you got to do your
Marcel,
thing.
I'm gonna have to add that one.
Marcel,
very-
can I give you a suggestion? If you for another one that you may want to do is the Anakin one on Mustafar where he looks over his shoulder.
Yes,
the
that's what I
red
was
eye.
gonna say to Marcel.
That's
If
the
you-
one I get sent like every week.
Okay.
Marcel, if you do it, bro, I am on it.
Like I wouldn't do it if you don't
on
want to sell a
rice.
lot of them.
Or brown
Yeah,
on rice,
right.
depending on the diet.
Anthony. Yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah,
Do
yeah,
it,
There's
Marcel,
so many.
please,
And
please.
you know, while the shows are what they are, there's as you guys know far better than me. There's all kinds of other artists. Right now, there's like a triple set of prints. I don't know the guy's name. It's up on the popular website, whatever it's called.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
I got that one.
Yeah, there's tons of great art out there. Of course, there's always the statues and stuff like that. But if I can just put in a word for independent artists, it would be yeah, go out and grab some quality stuff, whatever it is that you like. Don't buy anything you don't want. But if you see something that catches your eye, and if it's sold out, write the artist and see if they have anything lying around. They probably don't. And if you see something that you like that you're not going to buy, regardless of whom it's from, send them a message, a DM, and just let them know you dig their stuff. It's not important that you buy it. I mean, of course, that puts food on the table and gas in the tank. But I get messages all the time and of support and people just saying nice things, and it can turn. You know how sometimes you go to drive your kid to school and the engine doesn't start, and you're bummed. Well, one DM from some random stranger that just is gone, and you're able to work. So life sometimes, not always, but it can get you down. But if you send your favorite creator, even if you've known them for a long time, bought a ton of their stuff, but you've never emailed them, send them an email. They'll love you for it. It's great to support them financially, but it makes a huge impact if you just send them an email and tell them that you dig on what they're doing. It's really important. Makes a big difference.
Awesome. Yeah, and I before we wrap things up here, I know we didn't get a chance to talk about the other things, like Ben Mendelsohn is coming back to
Rogue One,
Andor 2. Oh, I'm telling you, Andor season 2. I know people, including myself, thought it was okay, but I feel like it's a setup. It's a setup for season 2. So let's all come.
Let's do it, Death Star.
Commission Marcel to do PJ with Jar Jar ears.
Me so what? But I just want to say, Anthony. I just want to say, thank you to Marcel. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Seriously, we mean it from the bottom of our hearts. We don't, me, Sean, even Anthony, we don't get paid to do this. We just like coming on. Sometimes ranting. Recently we've been ranting, but the most part talking Star Wars with you guys. It's always nice to talk to you guys outside of the live chat on the Instagram and things like that. And thank you for just listening to us on this platform, whether it be bitching about Acolyte or raving about Jar Jar Binks. We really appreciate it. Thank you to Marcel again. Great work. I linked everything in terms of his YouTube channel and his website in the live chat, so please check him out. Anthony, Sitcast Holocron, always love having you on.
It's always a pleasure.
Sean, another one in the books. And yeah, guys, I'll leave you guys with this.
Loves it.
Gonna
Hot
delete-
garbage.
Sean's gonna delete that without me knowing. So, but
Hey,
I'm,
look,
I'm waiting for you to put the full chant on.
Sean,
yeah.
Integrity Designs. You know who that is?
No.
Shelkoff.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Sweet. What's up, Chris?
What's up,
Dude,
Chris?
It's been forever since I've talked to him.
So, all right, guys. May the midichlorians be with you guys always and forever. We'll see you guys next week. Take care,
Peace.
everyone.
Later.
Peace.
Peace.